We're in Chicago at the Lyon Healy Harp factory for an inside look at the process of building a harp. And now we are in the final stages.
So here you see a series of instruments. They've all been strung up. Everything has been mounted on it. The final assembly work has all been done. And they have to be tuned now daily to get the tension in the instrument to settle in place before we do what we call a final regulation. And all of these harps sort of march forward in this process, with the older ones being in front. These will be regulated first, and the newer ones that have been assembled in the back there.
Isn't this an impressive sight, having all these harps here ready to go into the tuning chamber? They call it the March of the Harps. I think it suits well.
So in here, we do what you call the final regulation. So they're checking it on these, what we call strobe tuners.
Wow, that looks very serious.
Yeah. So that's where we're doing the final adjusting of the discs, and those all have to be done. And that's something you do maintenance-wise, you will do throughout the history of your harp. You'll get your harp calibrated, or what the terminology that we use in the harp world is regulated. Okay, well that concludes the tour, and this now will take our harps, once they're finished, up to our showroom. So we'll go see our showroom and see the harps in their final stage. These are all of our different models here, our different style harps that you see here. Some Salzedo, a little bit more contemporary, style 30s. Again, a little bit more contemporary. Our very traditional model, the style 23, probably the most recognized harp in the world.
Yes. So a few questions, Steve. How long it changes, of course, is the process from the beginning till the end, making a harp?
Well, that process can be elongated by the curing of the wood for sort of special instruments, but the average time is somewhere between 4 to 6 months from when the wood enters into the building till we have a final approval here.
How would you describe the Lyon Healy sound?
Well, how I describe it is a very even, full, a bell-like quality to it that really resonates and speaks well. I think it has to be something that the musician who's playing it feels it, and it responds well to the touch of the artist playing it. So those are things that we strive for to produce in our instruments.
Yes, to be an extension of the musician.
Absolutely.
Well, Steve, it was a pleasure for me to...
It was a pleasure as well, Lavinia. I hope you
so
enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a lot about your harp.
Yes, certainly
and,
did.
Certainly it was our pleasure to teach you all about how we build our harps. It's very important that our customers know that.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
A lot of people know the harp mainly as an orchestral instrument. They see the harp on stage far away inside an orchestra, and once in a while you can actually hear the harp, but most of the time it gets absorbed by the whole sound of the whole orchestra. And so when I perform a solo concert, people often mention that the sound a harp can make is so much more than they thought they might. Let me show you a few possibilities the harp can do, starting with Baroque music. Some romantic music. Some modern music. Or even some jazz. Well, I hope that the the people who see this process are actually drawn closer to the instrument. I think they will also be more interested in hearing the instrument and finding out more about the harp.